people feel that they don't want to build a brand because they feel that they don't know anything. And they feel that if they put something out there, sharing their journey, sharing their project, sharing something new that they learned, somebody's going to make fun of them because they said something wrong or did something wrong.
Yeah.
But here's the secret that for those of you who don't know, even the experts that you look at, they don't know anything either. Everyone has the same feeling. Even the CEO comes to work and says, man, today the day they figure out I don't know anything.
One of the most important things in this space, beyond the knowledge, is you actually having a career brand, specifically for those that are in tech, but I also say this for those that are interested in breaking into tech, where I say, yo, don't just get the knowledge and information and just apply to companies. Maybe post some of your knowledge on LinkedIn. Showcase some of the things that you're learning from the EdTech platform that you attended. Showcase that you're going to tech networking events and a variety of other things. I'm gonna be very real. Even out of some of the layoffs that have happened, I can look at my friends that are in tech that have a brand or been posting content or showcasing their knowledge versus the ones that just work in tech and are just getting the tech bag, but not networking, not doing other things to show themselves as a bit of a thought leader. And you can guess which ones got laid off versus which ones' careers have continued to excel. Now listen, I say all of this to say that you want to make sure you are sticking around until the end, because not only is the guest we have today someone who's going to show you how to level up in tech, but also show you different gems and advice that he has on how he's been able to scale his brand in tech as well. So that way you can steal all his notes and gems to do the same thing for yourself. Again, make sure y'all stick around to the end because we also have a giveaway for a guest. We're going to be announcing the giveaway winner at the end. Brodus, thank you so much, man, for being on Tech is the New Black.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about, so I want to go ahead and jump straight into it. So less than 6 years ago, it's actually crazy to me, like how fast you scaled and brand-wise, career-wise, helping so many people. Because just 6 years ago, you weren't even in tech.
Absolutely
And
not.
Can you tell people, like, what were you doing exactly at the time? What was life like? What was the eureka moment that made you say, yo, I need to go ahead and get in tech? And what was that transition like?
Yeah, so I was a banker for a company called Cyrus. It was BB&T at the time.
Yeah.
And, day in, day out, we working with hundreds of customers. And at that time, really, my thought process was, hey, man, if I can just make $50K, become a manager, I'm good, right? And that's how limited my mindset
I remember those times, yeah.
So really what really sparked the interest in going into something else was a customer came in and kind of ring my butt for some money that was missing out of their account. They spent it, but they wanted to figure out what was going on. And that person was like, hey, Mr. Palmer, look at my account. Look how much money I have in my account, and that's the type of service I expect from you.
Whoa.
And I was like, well, nah, I can't have that.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I can't have anybody talking to me like that. I need to do something different. At that, it was literally a light bulb. It's like, I need to do something different with my life. And the question came in that moment, like, what are you gonna do? I got it. I'm gonna get into tech. So the second question was like, well, what the heck you gonna do? You don't know nothing about tech.
Yeah.
You don't know anyone that's in tech. Tech is vast. What is it that you gonna do? And that's where it started, the thinking process of how I was going to get in.
So what was it that, because I get that moment that you had. I had a lot of moments like that. When I was a rideshare driver, I had moments where, people got out of my car and it was like, you broke? Like, that's why you taking me to my crib. Look, I literally had a dude get out the car. He was like, look at where I live. He said, look at where I live. He was like, look at your car. Look, and I couldn't say nothing but like, but you needed a ride though. I couldn't say much, and now the irony is that when I was looking for a place to stay in Atlanta, I actually saw the units or the building he lived at. And I was like, yo, that's beneath me. Like, I wouldn't even stay there now. And so it shows you how things change, but I'm curious. So you had that moment where you're like, yo, bump it, I'm getting in tech.
Yeah.
What did you see, or what was it before that showed you, yo, that's the space that's promising?
So crazy thing is I come from a rural area out of Virginia.
Okay.
Right? So these two gentlemen came in and I just noticed their direct deposits was like $4K for every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on now.
Consistently.
What y'all do? And it was like, well, we in tech. One was like a database admin. One was like, IT engineer or something like that. And I was like, you work from home? He was like, yeah, we work from home. So if you know where I'm from, you have to understand that half of the county was on Fios and half of the county was still on DSL. Okay. Slow dial up.
I'm not going. Oh, okay. You're talking about some tech stuff.
So internet.
You said Fios. Right? I'm like, what? But so DSL, I know that.
So
okay.
These gentlemen lived in the half of the county that was still on slow internet speed.
Yeah.
So I was like, you mean to tell me y'all make it 4K every 2 weeks and you on slow dial up at your crib? So that's when I started really looking at like, okay, maybe this is something that could be promising for me. So I just stored it in the back of my mind for the time being and really never thought about it again until that incident where that customer came in and I was like, hey, it's time for me to make 4K every 2 weeks. So yeah, man.
Yo, that's so fire. Man, that's so beautiful how, let us know in the comments, because I've seen a lot of people that watch Tech is the New Black and they'll tell me months later or a year later, they'll say, yo, I've seen your content, but I finally decided to make a move. Honestly, there's going to be some people that watch this episode where they've seen other episodes, they've seen other guests, they've had it stored in their mind, but this is going to be the episode that sparks that decision. Let us know in the comments, those of y'all that, at the end of this conversation, you're like, yo, I'm interested in this. This was the conversation that I needed. That definitely inspires us, and also it inspires the guest to continue doing what he's doing. So I tell people all the time the importance of networking in tech. I believe it's like networking both online as well as in person at tech networking events. I thought I went to a lot of events, but when I was looking at your LinkedIn and so I said, yo, this man's at all these different events and the thing that's crazy is like you're at such a level in a space where the person would think, oh, you don't need to network anymore. Oh, you don't need to leverage LinkedIn to post content and to do all of those different elements. I mean, because you having 60,000 followers on LinkedIn, I consider that almost like having 250,000 followers on Instagram, just because of the value of it.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and so I'm looking at that and I'm like, yo, man, that's really impressive. This guy's doing some amazing things. And people don't follow people on LinkedIn because you're cute. It's not because you're cute or you're funny. It's because you have value. Yeah. People see you as a source of value.
Yeah.
And man, but you've been able to scale it in such a way and scale your network and help so many people. Bro, can you please give the people some tips and gems when it comes to scaling, whether it's their LinkedIn or scaling their network within this space?
Yeah, so first of all, you got to look at it first you got to get out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
You have to get out of your comfort zone. This bubble that you in is not going to lead you to success. The success is outside of the comfort zone. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I started to look at when I got on LinkedIn because that helped me get into tech.
Okay.
Me building my brand.
Oh, yeah.
I started thinking, okay, well, there's folks out there that's just like me or even behind me. I know nothing, right? But it's some folks that know absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And what can I do to teach them, to help them and motivate them to continue on the track and really navigate the roadblocks that I came across, right? So I started just creating motivational content and just started showcasing my journey. Not really showcasing the work I was doing, but just saying, this is what I'm doing, right? And this is some things you might feel. Tech can be learned. Tech can be learned on any platform. It's the imposter syndrome, it's the anxiety, it's the fear that gets in most folks' way of even taking the first step and even trying to brand themselves.
Yeah.
So I just started there. I started creating content and just being consistent with it. I'm gonna post every day because if I don't, then the people that's watching me, trying to learn from me, are not getting the value that keeps them motivated to make it into tech like I'm trying to make it into. So post, be consistent on any platform you choose. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, that's the professional network. But number 3 is really focusing on shaking virtual hands or virtually shaking hands.
Okay.
Connecting with folks that are in the industry and doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Introducing yourself. If you live in Atlanta, if you live in DC, if you live LA, reach out to those folks, introduce yourself and say, hey, you know, I know you live in the city. I would love to take you out to coffee, or we go grab some lunch. I want to just connect with you. And that could be opportunities, especially if they're content creators as well. There could be opportunities for you to really co-collab on their platform, and they can come on your platform. One thing that's big is podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, wants to start a podcast, but once again, creating that podcast, you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to give value.
Yeah.
It's always somebody that's just like you, that's looking to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
People feel that they have no value to give. I felt that way same time. But you just have to understand somebody is out there that's looking for the information that you're willing to give. And if you give it, you get more comfortable with giving it. You get more comfortable being consistent. And then it just spreads like wildfire. You never know who's watching. Opportunities come from that way. I landed my first role, 6-figure paycheck, just from branding myself and putting myself out on a platform where I thought nobody was listening. And the whole time they was watching me, and it was like, we like what you're doing. We like you putting yourself out there, and we like your brand. We want you to come on in and be an employee with us.
Yeah, people don't realize how important that is. I love you mentioning the consistency piece.
That's important.
And as well as the fact that you were so brand new to the space, but you still chose to post content based on the limited information you had, but it was still enough that it showed people, okay, this guy's curious. This guy is he's showing that he has knowledge in this space. And I think people really, they think, oh, I don't know that much, so if I share knowledge, I'll look like an idiot. But on the reversal, what I think most people don't realize that are entry level or new to the industry is that a lot of the people that are expert level, they're not posting any content.
Right.
So you posting content, it's especially on platforms like LinkedIn, where it's like, it's almost a wide open space. Because there's a lot of smart people, but you being one of the only ones to post content has immense value, especially for the companies that are hiring and looking for you. If you're interested in breaking into a 6-figure career in tech or scaling to over $500,000 in tech, then this video is for you. If not, then just swipe away. But I was able to break into the tech industry October 2021. And in my first year, I scaled to over $500,000 in tech. My second year, I was able to gross over $1 million. More importantly, I was able to freely help over 600 people break into 6-figure tech careers as well and scale further in the industry. Now, the number one question I've been getting from people is, how was I able to do this? How was I able to make so much money? How was I able to also help as many people as I've been able to help? Well, aside from doing coaching calls and trying to spend a whole bunch of time helping people individually, I've decided to create the Tech Rich program, where I literally break every single thing down that I've done and what I've been doing to show others how they can break into tech faster or scale to over $500,000 plus within their first few years in the tech industry as well. All you gotta do, click the link in my bio. All the information's there. Check out the description. Message me if you have any other questions, and I'll see you on your journey scaling in tech. There was something, speaking of posting, there was something that you had put up where you said that you had shared you had a PDF of 5 pitfalls to avoid when starting your tech journey. Could you share what are, if we have time, all of those, or what are some of those pitfalls that that you see people making when starting their tech journey?
Yeah, so one of the pitfalls we were just talking about is building the brand, and people feel that they don't want to build a brand because, as you just mentioned, they feel that they don't know anything. And they feel that if they put something out there, sharing their journey, sharing their project, sharing something new that they learned, somebody's gonna make fun of them because they said something wrong or did something wrong. But here's the secret, that for those of you who don't know, even the experts that you look at, they don't know anything either. So we all just in this field trying to learn every day, because this thing is forever changing. Everyone has the same feeling. Even the CEO comes to work and says, man, today they figure out I don't know anything.
That's hilarious.
So that's number one. Just do it. Number two, it's really understanding this is a lifelong journey of learning. If you're going to get into tech, if you're going to say, I'm going to put my foot forward every day, just know it's every day. There's no stopping. The moment you stop, That's when tech start changing, and that's when you put the stress on yourself where now you have to get ready instead of staying ready.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is showcase what you're doing. Showcase the technical part of your work.
Okay.
A lot of people are showcasing projects, showcasing what they're doing, but they're 1, 2, 3 in it. Okay. I know it didn't work 1, 2, 3. It's done. I want to see the problems that you face. What are the failures that you face in the technical aspect of it? So if you're doing a project, let's say for cloud folks, you're creating a static website. I know step one didn't take you to step 2, step 2 didn't take you to step 3. What happened between step 1 and 2, right? Yeah. What were the errors? How did you navigate those roadblocks? Because that showcases your creativity and how you can solve problems. And that's what people want to see. They don't want to see what everybody else is doing. They want to see what you can do. What can you bring to the table if I were to let you on my team? Yeah. How can you solve problems with our organization if I were to give you something that you never seen before? So just understand that. And the next thing is the pitfalls we go into is we don't want to learn anything new. We get stuck in a tech stack. We learn something for the next 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, and we stay there. You got to continue to pick up new industry trends. 2024 is here. Industry trends are changing. The buzzword of this industry is AI.
Yes.
AI, right? You don't have to become an expert in it. You just have to understand how companies are using it. Yeah. How is it impacting the world? So you having that mindset of, when I was at a tech event, I had a guy that at the company I was working for at the time called Linux Academy. Okay. He said, Linux Academy, man, I've been doing Linux for 25 years. I don't need to learn nothing else about anything. And I'm thinking, well, you've been doing this for 25 years, but somebody who's been doing this for a year is going to come and take your spot. Yep. Because they've been learning all types of stuff for the last year. Yes. Right? So get yourself out of the mind frame of, I'm going to learn this and that's it. You're going to have to continue to learn, and you're going to have to stay on top of industry trends. Those are the pitfalls I say for somebody who's just starting. Get that in your head right now, and you'll never lose. Yeah.
Yo, that's so good. It's like this industry is kind of up for grabs for whoever's hungry. Whoever's hungry, and like you mentioned, whoever is just constantly learning. Yep. And I mean, that's so real. I think about when I was at my first tech company, Dialpad. What was actually crazy is that when I got there, I was, entry-level sales engineer, didn't know much of anything, was imposter syndrome through the roof. Thinking, okay, I'm just a token hire. So I'm feeling like, I have to prove myself. But what I started to realize, of course, there was so much information, so much knowledge about the company and the tech stack where I'm like, there's no way. It's like endless knowledge. And then as soon as I started feeling like I knew 10% of the information in the company rolled out some new software technology where they're like, hey guys, we all have to learn this now so you could demo this as a sales engineer. So I felt like I was in this weird space of, as soon as I get close to the surface, like, okay, here comes some more water to get piled on. So in the time, that's how I was thinking. So I was working and I was like studying, and I'm thinking like, man, they probably looking at me like, man, this guy don't know nothing. He an idiot. Why we hire him? Two things happened that taught me something beautiful. This goes in line with what you said. One, when reports came out, when the quarterly reports came out in terms of how many deals were closed and deals that we were attached to, out of all the sales engineers in the company, I mean, they had like senior principal level sales engineers, way smarter than me, knew way more about sales engineering than me, much respect, hats off to them. I actually brought the company more money in that quarter. The brand new sales engineer over the people that have been sales engineers for 12, 13, 14, 15 years. So that was one piece where I knew for a fact I ain't have a tenth of the knowledge that they had in terms of being sales engineers. But one, there was a certain flavor and flair that I brought to my demos personally that they weren't able to bring to their demos. Now, mind you, again, they're fire. I ain't trying to down them at all, but just realizing, our own unique value that we have and we bring to the table. The second piece was that because the company was rolling out new technology, new updates, I started realizing this after a while. We would be in meetings. I would be in meetings with all of the top dog sales engineers, And then they would ask a question about the new technology that our company rolled out. And they're like, yo, like, what does it do? Like, what's that? And I'll be sitting there thinking like, yo, y'all don't know that?
No.
I know that. And I'll be like, if I come off mute and I answer the question, and I would come off mute and I'll be like, oh, it's this and this and this. And they'll be like, oh, really? There's, oh, Cyrus, like, okay. And they would start asking me questions. I would answer them. And I started realizing, oh, snap. Because the company's coming out with new technology, it kind of resets the game to where
Absolutely.
If I become the subject matter expert of this before they do, then I'm automatically the person that they come to. And it got to the point, people high up in the company will get sent to me because I learned something before the seniors did. And so, again, going in line with what you said, whether we're talking AI or we're talking about just updates in Linux or just this space in general, it's a space where it's up for grabs, even if you're entry level.
Yep.
And so that's why I got so excited when you kind of shared that and you broke that down, because again, people get scared and intimidated thinking they have to know everything. And it's like, man, no, if you just know the latest stuff, then that could put you in front of everybody else.
Yep.
So, because companies want the person that knows the latest stuff, because the companies want to have the latest stuff.
Absolutely.
So, man, that's you got me real hyped when you said that. I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, because that's the thing that keeps people from starting or keeps people frustrated is because they feel like they have to become an expert in this thing before they move to the next thing. Yeah. Right? The whole thing about tech, especially when you're starting, is about understanding that exposure equals experience. Mm-hmm. So if you the job is to get exposed to solving problems with various services and tools. If you have something that's new, check it out. If it's a new service that you never heard of, let's say if it's an AWS or Microsoft Cloud, whatever it is, right? Check it out. Do a little quick start, quick tutorial. Understand how it works. I guarantee you that a lot of people don't even know that, right? So if you get on a team, if you're already on a team, if you do it, a lot of your peers are not even going to understand how it works or what it does. Mm-hmm. You understand it because you did the basics. Mm-hmm. You took a quick tutorial. So that's it. That's all you have to do. Like, get out of your own way. Just open your mind to receiving this new tech systems and services and processes that's going on, and you're going to shoot yourself to the next level. Yeah. Fear is a liar. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yo, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Now, let us know in the comments, like, when you hear that, and like, let us know, like, if you're like, okay, if you were the type of person that felt that you had to know everything or be an expert, like bro was just saying, you know, let us know. For those of y'all that recently broken into tech and you've been able to see your own value, if you resonate with what we're talking about, if you've been able to see it and experience it and see like, man, I have value even though I'm new to this space. And so we definitely want to hear from y'all. And again, we're going to be going through the comments and finding one of the comments that are there to announce you as a giveaway winner in our future episodes as well. So make sure that you're commenting, but also stay tuned for future episodes. Now, brothers, kind of jumping off of that last point about people learning just some of the latest things that are happening, I want to talk a little bit about Level Up in Tech, because again, you've been helping a lot of people. I've seen a lot of testimonials on your LinkedIn, and it's like one thing people can't cap about is receipts. You know, right. It's like people can say, oh, yeah, I could do this, I could do that. But it's like, and that's why even on my Instagram, like, I'll like go live with people where they're able to tell their testimony, and people are like, okay, cool. Like, all right. Because before people said I was capping when I was like, you can get in tech, whatever. And I was like, okay, let me start going live with people. But I mean, you got a lot of receipts on your page. So can you please tell us a little bit about Level Up in Tech, but also kind of going back to what we were mentioning earlier, like what things are people learning and Level Up in Tech that is, I guess, like, you know, within like modern times when it comes to like whether tech stack or when it comes to what's happening in the industry?
Yeah, so Level Up in Tech is a program we built. It's a 24-week program. We focus on helping current and future techies learn how to solve problems as cloud engineers. And then we help them land high-paying roles. Yeah. So typically the problems we try to solve is when I got into tech, right, or when I was trying to get into tech, I typically patent this program after my journey, and we refined it over the years. But when I got into tech, speaking to mentors and people that were in tech, the moral of the story was get your certifications, you get hired. So I went and got 3 AWS certifications, and it made me a shiny object. People was hitting me up like, hey, oh my God, we want to interview you. But when I got in the interview, I realized I didn't know nothing about what they was talking about.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that helped me understand, like, man, the certifications just gave me a foundation. It didn't really show me how to solve problems.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, certifications they're beneficial, but that's not the end all be all.
Right, yeah. So, I had to go back to the drawing board and really focus on the tools and services, even the processes they were talking about, learn them, and then show how I can solve problems. Yeah. And in 10 months, I was able to land a six-figure role.
Yeah.
But what we wanted to do is just show people the realization, the reality of what does it take to become a cloud engineer, and look at the industry trends and what can we do to help folks with different tech stacks understand how to solve problems with different services and tools like, Linux and server scripting, containerization, infrastructure as code, and learning the cloud platforms in itself. So, while someone may go through a solutions architect exam or go through a developer, they need to understand it didn't make them a developer, right? It's just those exams show you the services that developers use to develop in that environment, right? But we wanted to show you as a cloud engineer, how would you collab with those developers to, take code, test code, deploy it in a test environment to make sure it works, and then deploy it to an end user, and then monitor and manage it to make sure it never goes down.
Yeah, man, that's so fun.
You know what I'm saying? So we started taking folks with no tech background.
I was just about to ask you that. If they have a tech background,
here with me is a great friend of mine who went through the program himself. Somebody who worked in Lowe's, 15 years.
He went through the program?
6 months.
Y'all can't see him on camera, but okay, that's fire.
Yeah, 6 months. He landed a role with a company called True Stage, and the man is doing his thing.
That's lit, bro. Congratulations, man. That's fire.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where we wanted to show people really how to solve the problem and get the bag.
Yeah.
And our mission is to help over 2,000 people learn from diverse backgrounds, solve problems, and land cloud roles by 2025.
Yo, I love it.
Yeah, man, that's what we've been doing, brother. And
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So I know I've done some research when it comes to the cloud, and I'm aware, just like you mentioned, your first role that you landed being a six-figure role, and generally, even on the low end, I've seen that most people that start out in like Linux, even on the low end, start out somewhere around $80,000, which is incredible to hear that. Can you explain to people? Because we always get new viewers, new people tapping in. And those of y'all that are new or those of y'all that have been watching, make sure you're definitely subscribed, because we notice like 70% of y'all are not even subscribed, which we had over 100,000 subscribers. I mean, we could be at like 200,000. Right. So go ahead and subscribe if y'all getting some value out of this. But so what exactly, for people that don't know what Linux is, can you explain what a Linux administrator or just essentially like what the cloud is, and what just some of the roles that Level Up in Tech trains and prepares people in, like what those things kind of look like? Yeah,
so if you think of the cloud, look at your computer. If you have a computer at home, you're on a network, right? You have your Wi-Fi, you have your router network that's bringing the internet to your computer. And on your computer, you have the computing power, the server itself, the storage, all of those good things on a computer. Think about now you have this computer being offered to you by a cloud service provider. Like Microsoft would say, we give you everything on your computer at a discounted rate, so to speak. But these things that you use would never, ever go down. And if they go down, you have another server or another unit of storage in seconds. Yeah. Right? So what we train people to do is to use those services as cloud engineers, more specifically cloud DevOps engineers. So DevOps is development operations. What you'll be doing is using those virtual services. Let's say in AWS, that's what we focus on, which is Amazon Web Services. That's a major cloud service provider that's around the world that they offer people their own computer networks, right? So we help you understand how to work with developers that really code and build applications from scratch. Take those applications. Let's break it down more simply for like Netflix. When you go on Netflix and you see the big red end that pops up, somebody developed that with the code, right? So somebody had to take that code, run it through some services to make sure the code doesn't break. and then they had to deploy this code in a development environment, which means test environment, to make sure the services they want to use to deploy to you, the end user, will actually work with the code. And then once they see that it works, everything is fine and dandy, they deploy it to you, the end user, so you can access the databases, the storage files, and they have servers that process all of those things. And then they have the opportunity to use cloud services to manage and monitor these things. Okay, if we deploy these on 1,000 servers, we need to make sure these servers never go down, because if you do, then that can cost Netflix millions of dollars.
Probably billions over time.
Right.
Yeah.
So in a sense, in cloud, you have so many roles that you can gain from learning these things. You got cloud admin, you got cloud engineer, cloud DevOps engineer, cloud specialist. You can go into cloud solutions, where these roles are all interchangeable. And even if you have a role that says cloud admin, you just need to look at the job description, because just because it says this role, they may have something totally entirely different than what you're learning, right? But for the most part, you'll be able to work in the field, healthcare, finance, car dealerships, right?
Because everyone needs the cloud, like everyone needs
restaurants,
cloud.
So this is just a huge opportunity for folks right now to get into. When I started in 2020, this little thing called COVID came, and I didn't realize it was going to send a herd of people over to learn cloud computing. Because at that time, everybody was forced to use cloud, and a lot of people didn't know what it was. But you use it every day, from Google Classroom to Zoom. All of these things need to be managed by engineers in the
Dropbox.
Dropbox.
Everyone, let us know who all use Dropbox. That's the cloud.
So we use
stored in the cloud.
Games. If you're on Xbox, the Xbox Cloud,
PS5,
right?
PS5.
You playing, right? Somebody has to manage that. A developer developed that code, but cloud engineers have to manage that so you can play your game all night. So this industry is booming. And that's the opportunities that are out there for folks in high paying roles.
Cloud is crazy right now. The cloud is fire. And I know that there's actually a shortage of, because we look at tech sales. Y'all know I talk a lot about tech sales. I'll speak about just various roles in tech. I know the cloud space in tech is one of the spaces where there actually is a short supply of talent, to where in tech sales, it pays well. It's relatively easy to transition into, but the demand is high, but also the supply is high as well, where it's there's a lot of demand for it. But there's a lot of people, more and more people that are rushing to it, versus the cloud space, high demand, high pay, high opportunity. Demand is high, but in terms of the fulfillment, or in terms of the amount of people that are even getting any types of qualifications for it, is significantly low. So this is a huge space that y'all definitely should look into, tap into.
Absolutely.
So definitely check out. Again, look at the show notes, all that good stuff. Y'all see information for Level Up in Tech there. Hey y'all, we have some incredible news that I'm super excited about, to finally announce our private tech community. Yes, you heard that right. A private tech community exclusively for you all who want more than just a podcast. You want more than just the FAQs. You want to talk with tech recruiters. You want to talk with hiring managers. You want to talk with coaches. You want to talk with people that can help with editing and rewriting your resume. Maybe you're somebody where you just want to be a part of a community where we're talking about updates of what's happening in the software industry. Y'all, this community that we've launched is also going to involve a Discord where we're going to be talking about updates in tech. We're going to be talking about companies that are hiring. We're going to be talking about upcoming tech events. So that way you don't have to miss any of the gems that I know, but not even just what I know, but the gems that friends of mine that are also in the tech industry know as well. So if you want to be a part of that community, go ahead and sign up so that way you can join us. We have a few different tiers. Ultimately, it's all tuned in for you. Oh, and last thing, also within this community, we're going to be streaming all of our interviews with our podcast guests. So instead of you having to wait months to watch the videos later on, you'll actually be able to watch the interviews in real time and ask your live questions to those guests. So make sure you join our tech community. Now look, bro, this man, so you've been killing it in this space in a variety of different angles. But one thing that I noticed, I was looking at your content online. I was like, okay, he has a ring on his finger. I was like, all right, so, he's married. And I'm like, we're in an era right now where both men and women, like, some people start leveling up, start becoming successful, all those things. Or even before becoming successful, one way or another, people are finding excuses to not find joy and commitment with like a beautiful partner. And like I'll see people that are broke or don't have anything. They say, "Oh, I can't date, I can't be with anyone because I'm broke right now. I need to wait until I'm at a level of success." But then on the flip side, I'll see people that are successful, and then they'll say, "Oh, I don't, no, because they weren't with me back when I ain't have much going on." So I'm like, okay, look, either way, people making excuses to not, basically to not like be with somebody and have a fulfilling life. I'm curious, how has, because I guess want to know, I guess around the time when you got married, like if it was before tech or after tech, but also how has marriage, I mean, we'll be transparent, but like the cameras ain't here, like how has marriage like either hindered your career or how has it actually like helped your career?
Yeah, so I didn't have a career until I met my partner. Yeah. My wife. Well,
that's crazy.
We dated, but I was still trying to figure out who I was. Yeah. Still trying to be in the streets to do what I saw. Yeah. Right. So, from there, just having her by my side, baby, you made me a man. I want to put that. I want to put that out on YouTube for the world to see. I wasn't a man until I met my wife. Right. Wow. But having a family and having a partner that's able to speak life into you is very important, and I understand for a lot of people, you typically don't find that, right? Where find the right one that just speaks life. For me, I tried so many things and she was just so supportive until I found what my purpose really was. So all those things that wasn't a thing just led me to the thing, which was tech. And she just supported me all the way by taking care of the home, right? Making sure when I stepped in the house, my house felt like a safe space. Felt like I could be whoever I wanted to be. And I think that helped me creatively just do what I need to do to be able to become who I am now. Right? And on top of that, I think for the most part, it's one of those things where, how can I say it? He who finds a wife finds a good thing
and obtains favor from the Lord. Come on now.
And this is absolutely true, because in a partnership you have a mission. In life, finances, family, and just overall purpose. And I wouldn't have found that if I didn't find her.
That's fire.
When the days that I was down and trying to figure out who I was, she told me who I was.
That's
she reminded me who I was. And when I met her, she was a breadwinner. She was managing grocery stores called Kroger. It's a Kroger chain.
They got some Krogers out here. In the
she was making great money. I was making pennies, bro. Man. Like I was making. Matter of fact, when I met her, I was making $8.25 an hour.
Ooh.
And
to count that 25
from there,
cents.
Growing into the relationship we have and her speaking life into me and being my partner and making sure I was able to do what I needed to do to take care of the family, I now can take care of my family 10 times and beyond.
That's amazing, bro.
She don't work. She takes care of the home. I take care of everything.
Yeah, man, that's fire.
It really helped me grow into who y'all see on Tech is the New Black today. And even what Level Up in Tech is as far as the business, allowing me to just find myself and channel that inner champion and be able to just push to the next level to take us there.
I'm curious. So since your wife was the breadwinner at the time, so you was making $8.25 an hour. She was it sounds like she was kind of like maybe on the corporate side of Kroger or at least like high level management.
Yeah, for sure.
So she was the breadwinner. Usually what a lot of people are arguing today is that they say, if a woman is the breadwinner, then either the man is too insecure to be able to handle his woman being the breadwinner or being more successful, or on the reversal, a lot of guys argue, when they making more money, they're not in their femininity, or they don't respect me as a man, none of those pieces. But then I've also seen other arguments where I've seen women say, online, girl, don't be with no man who broke, because if you help him when he broke and you there with him when he broke, once he becomes successful, he gonna forget about you.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing all of these different arguments, but I want to know, like, what was it like for, like, really, one, like, what is your thoughts towards those arguments, but also what was it like for y'all? Like, when your wife was the breadwinner, like, and when you were like, were you insecure about that? Was she still feminine? And then was there a shift at all when you became more successful? Whether even if it's a positive shift or negative, like, I'm super curious.
Yeah, so I felt insecure, right? But that wasn't the things that she was showing me. So she actually understood the mission.
Yeah.
So she made the money, but she still gave me opportunity to lead.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And
okay.
She followed it, like, okay, if this is what you say. So think about it. Like, I was a musician, so, I was in the Source, and we were doing big shows. I was trying to invest in the music. Then I went to clothing. Then I went to, I'm a sneaker collector, so I was selling sneakers.
Yeah.
And all these businesses failed, and yet she was following me as the breadwinner.
Wow.
She was following me and allowing me to lead our relationship and family to find success on my own. And then all of those things combined gave me the opportunity and the champion in myself to look at tech and say, you know what, I can do this, and use everything that I learned from those businesses to propel myself to the next level in tech, where, yes, probably was scary for her because this was another thing I was doing, right?
Yeah.
And where I'm from and where she's from, we know there's a tech industry. Let's be super honest. As black folks, we know there's a tech industry, but we didn't see ourselves in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't realize I could be in the industry. I just thought, I had to be super smart coming out the womb, fixing computers.
Yeah.
And I just like, okay, I know this tech, but me focusing on how this can help change our family dynamic, she was like, okay, are you sure about this? And even my family, my mom was like, you sure this ain't no scam? 6 figures at home, see, you should just make sure it ain't no scam.
Yeah.
And when we finally was successful and I finally landed in my first 6-figure role, it made it real for her. And all the things she sacrificed by letting me lead.
Yeah.
And, being the breadwinner, paying the bills, now paid off for her. So now she's forever taken care of.
Yo, that's so fire.
Yeah.
Bro, that's beautiful. Hey, look, y'all put some clapping emojis in the comments for that. That's super fire. Man, we love to hear things like that. Hopefully that inspires a lot of people. Definitely inspires me as well. So that being said, real quick, we want to shout out, going back to the comments, we want to shout out the giveaway winner for some Tech is New Black drip. As well as for our LinkedIn optimization. Since we've been talking a bit about LinkedIn, we have a LinkedIn optimization training. Y'all can see it down in the show notes below. But the giveaway winner, you receive some Tech is a New Black drip, as well as the LinkedIn optimization training for the free ski. So that way you can get that and be able to level up, scale up your LinkedIn to be able to attract more brands and people like that. So the giveaway winner is T. Matthews 2361. T. Matthews 2361. Email us at info@techisthenewblack.com. And we got you. All right, good stuff. So you've posted a lot of game online. Low key, like, y'all can legit just kind of go to his LinkedIn and his Instagram, and you can kind of comb through there and just take notes the whole time. Now, again, he got way more stuff. He goes in a much deeper bag aside from just the surface level information. So again, I always try to encourage people, don't try to look at surface level information and think, oh, that's all I need. But it's definitely something that those of y'all that are in the interview process right now, those of y'all that are trying to figure out how to just really network and do a variety of things, that information would definitely kind of help you out significantly. But what I want us to know is, what are some steps that you would give people who want to break into tech, and steps that you would give people who want to level up in tech?
So breaking into tech, I would just say, pick a tech stack. Whether, the question we get is, well, which cloud service provider should we choose? Should I go to Google? Should I go to Microsoft or AWS? Pick one.
Yeah.
Just pick one and learn it.
Yeah.
And look at a role that you want, right? Look at a role that you want to work in the next year. and learn that tech stack for that role. That way you be prepared. And it all starts with taking the first step and believing. And I'm going to tell you this. Don't let anyone tell you that it's impossible for you to transition from where you are to a high-paying career in cloud computing. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of naysayers out there. There's a lot of people that's going to tell you they can't, that you can't, but it's because they couldn't. Yeah. Or it's because they've been in a role for this long and they haven't upskilled, they haven't leveled up, and they're super dissatisfied and they can't see someone breaking in, making the same type of money that they're making.
Yeah.
It's money out there for everyone. All right, we had a person who came from a non-technical background get a total compensation of $162,000, first tech role ever. So
crazy.
Don't let anyone tell you that this is impossible.
Yeah.
The roles are out there, the money's out there. That's what I tell people who want to start their journey. It starts in here. It starts in here before you can have it in here. All right?
Amen.
So for those who want to level up, well, look at where you want to be, right? So if you're already in a cloud engineering role and you want to become a manager, right? What are the managers doing? You have to learn how to serve before you can learn how to lead. Mm-hmm. So are you making your manager's job easier? Are you taking the initiative and doing some of the things that they're doing, trying to automate? If you see your team doing manual things, what can you do to automate a lot of that so they can focus on the critical tasks and you can focus on the critical tasks? Mm-hmm. What are you doing for your manager to help them look better and do their job more efficiently? If you start doing those things, then opportunity is going to come in your lap, whether it's going to be where you are in that organization or it's going to be somewhere else. If you're not appreciated, because sometimes organizations overlook, right? But other opportunities will come somewhere else. And you just need to be able to go out to these tech events like Thanksgiving, Afro Tech, and shake hands, introduce yourself. Stop sitting in the corner, quick pulling out your phone when you get nervous and you don't want to talk. Make yourself, introduce yourself to people, talk about what you're doing. That's how relationships are built. And when people get to know you, they can give you a foot in the door in leveling up. And build your brand. Showcase what you're doing. Showcase how you're doing it and help those who are trying to do it. That's it.